What I've got with me here is the Hyundai Creta Electric. Now it is reminiscent of the all-new Creta, but that's because it belongs to the Creta family, and Hyundai said, why should we change a good thing? But they have changed a ton of stuff with it. So in a lot of ways, it is an all-new vehicle, and definitely with the new electric powertrain, it is a completely different machine to drive as well. I'm Vikram Gore, you're watching MotorScribes, and in this video, we're going to be talking about everything that you get with the Creta Electric as a package and whether it's worth bringing it into your garage. To start off with the design, what we've got here is pretty much what the Creta looks like. So similar body panels, same creases, same character lines along the body, and everything about it. Its stance, the roof rails, the roof line, and all those design elements pretty much remain the same. But it is in the details where the electric starts standing out. So to start with, you do get that pixel motif across the front where you would have otherwise had a grille, and that is definitely something that's different over here. We saw this pixel motif on the Ioniq 5, and it is Hyundai's electric lineage that we see carrying over to the Creta Electric as well. And down here, we've actually got the active air inflow flaps. So these actually open up to allow for additional airflow and to aid with cooling. So they operate automatically. Whenever the car thinks it's right, they open up and they shut according to their own liking. So these are two things that do stand out up front on the Creta Electric. The third is obviously the fact that you get the charging port right here with these lights to give you a clear understanding of how much charge you have and how the charging is running. So it's a center-mounted charging port, so it makes it easy to charge at various charging places because you don't have to look at pulling up your vehicle on which side. So that's also a neat feature over there. But what does carry over is obviously the horizon light. You've got your LED DRLs, the projector lights low down over here. So these are again some things that carry over. You've also got a camera up front, and that is again something that stands out. But overall, the stance, the look of the vehicle is very reminiscent of what you do get with the Creta. And the Creta Electric, I think, carries over that really nice, clean, and rather premium look, I would say. As we move along to the side, what do we get? We've got similar panels, and it does ride on these neat new alloys. So these are obviously designed for additional aerodynamics. When it comes to electric vehicles, aerodynamics are everything. So it does get these new 17-inch alloys that do stand out and play their part in giving it a nice premium look. Overall, as you move along, the doors, everything is exactly with what you get with the regular Creta, including this nice additional touch over here of giving it a break in color. And there are a variety of colors to choose from, but this one being all red, as you can see here, this is the Fury Red version. It is a very neat looking machine. You've got nice strong roof rails. You get a brilliant panoramic roof, a nice large panoramic sunroof, which opens up and it looks really great, a shark fin antenna. And as you make your way around to the back, you will see that there's really not too much to tell it apart from the regular Creta because overall the design language, like I've said, is pretty much the same. But the few telltale differences are the electric badging over here and the pixel motif right down here. So these two things do definitely tell you there's something different from the Creta. The third is obviously the absence of a tailpipe. Now, being electric, we don't need one of those, so that's gone too. But apart from that, it's again a very neat design. I love the whole horizon light, the light bar that runs across the rear. It really gives the Creta a nice persona on the road, and it does look stunning when you drive it around at night as well. So when it comes to the design, I think overall what we have is Hyundai sort of said, why change a good thing? We've got the Creta, it looks great. We've got a petrol version, we've got a turbo petrol version, we've got a diesel version. Now let's have an electric version of the same vehicle. So that's what you do get with this. And customers who are out there looking at the Creta and saying that, you know what, it is a brilliant city car. It is something that I'd love to have in my garage. It's spacious, it's comfortable, and well, I would like it to be electric. Well, here you go. Here's an electric option for you. But let's get down to the details on the cabin now. Well, coming down to what you get with the cabin. Now, before I hop in, there's just a couple of things I want to point out. While it is very reminiscent of the ICE version of the Creta, which is the center console over here. A lot has changed with it. So as you can see, the center part over here is completely different. The seats are again very different from what you get with the regular Creta. And these are two standout features that I will be talking about. So starting off with the seats, they're made with the materials that are recyclable. So we've got a bit of corn as well as recycled plastic been used over here, sustainable materials. And that's again going with this entire electric persona of the vehicle. It's about being clean and green. So the materials also add up to that bit over there. Now the front seats are both ventilated. They both have 8-way power adjustability, electric again. So it's something that you can just find your nice driving position very easily. And that is what you do get with the front seats over here. So just hopping in, I'm going to start the electric Creta. And as you can see, the seat has this memory function where it can adjust to your last driving position, and you can save those spots over here. You've got two memory function elements over here. But by and large, you've got a nice sporty steering wheel. There is an absence of a Hyundai logo on the steering wheel, but that's because what Hyundai has done with the electric Creta is give you this bar with 4 dots, which is H in Morse code. So that is the logo. That is the Hyundai logo right there, but in Morse code for you. So a neat, funky touch over there. But by and large, you got a 10.25-inch driver information display, 10.25-inch infotainment system. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay are available, but they're wired. So that is something that I feel is my biggest grouse. I would like wireless Apple CarPlay. That's something that I use on a daily basis, and having that would have been great. But apart from that, you've got dual zone climate control, and you can also have it in a driver only mode. So to save energy, you can actually, and you're driving around alone, you don't need all the vents blowing air. You can just have it focused purely on the driver, and that definitely plays a vital role in saving a little bit of the battery as you drive around town. Apart from that, you've got nice steering mounted controls. It's an all digital display, looks great. I think it's well lit, and even using it in harsh sunlight like out here in Chennai, it's actually pretty easy to read as well. So you got access to maps. Hyundai has actually integrated a payment gateway into the infotainment system. I will tell you about that because that's what you would use to pay for charging that Hyundai is working on. They're working on this entire charging app where you can actually access a variety of chargers as well as the Hyundai chargers across the country, and you can actually pay for it right from your car. So that's a pretty cool thing there. They've also integrated Geo Savan, so if you do need your music, that's available as well. Again, like they're all Hyundai products, you do get Blue Link. You've got a plethora of features over there. You've got voice commands in multiple languages. So you've got English and Hindi commands that you can give as well. And you can control a variety of functions with these voice commands. Add to that, you've got a nice wireless charging pad down here, USB connectivity, USB-C connectivity, a 12-volt 180-watt outlet. You've got multiple drive modes to select from. So if you're driving it in the city, you can use the eco mode. You want to get that little bit of performance, you can use the power mode. So all of that is there for you. And again, I think the overall fit and finish of what you get with the cabin is something that just feels right, it stands out, and the materials, again, look top-notch and really upmarket. Now, like I said, there are a few changes. So you've got additional storage space over here, which is freed up quite a bit. You've got a really neat driver armrest storage spot as well. And incidentally, this is cooled, so you can keep water bottles in here and it'll keep cool. Your glove box is cooled as well. So that's again something that's quite neat and available on the Creta Electric. So when it comes to the rear seats of the Hyundai Creta Electric, I have to say they're pretty comfortable. Now I've got the front seat where I would drive. I'm 6'2", so it's pretty much all the way back. And yet, as I'm seated here, my knees are just brushing the seat. Now, if it was anybody shorter, I would actually have a lot of legroom. And that's actually what I would judge this vehicle by, not by what it is right now. But like I said, I'm 6'2" and I'm above average male Indian height. So don't just judge with what you see over here. But having said that, to get that additional legroom, Hyundai has scooped out the back of the front seats to give you that added bit of space. You get a pretty funky tray over here. Now this is for you to keep a tab or do a little bit of work if you have to. You got trays on both seats, and that's just an added feature over here. You do get a center armrest, again with two cup holders, which is again very neat. And last but not the least, you can actually recline the backrest. So you can actually have it set at two settings. One is a little bit more upright, gives you a little bit of additional boot space. The other one you can recline down and be comfortable like I am. I've also got more than ample headroom, which is again something that I'm very thankful for, because there's a lot of new vehicles coming out there where I see that sloping roof takes away a lot of headroom, and that's just something I don't get. But with the Creta being designed around family, being designed around the fact that this is something that you would use to ferry around more than one person, it's a very comfortable vehicle, and I think the leg space overall at the rear and the seats themselves are very comfortable. Add to that, you've got charging ports over here. You've got your AC vents. You've actually got a cool function with this front seat. So it's called Boss mode, and you've got these buttons on the side right over here that you can actually press and control the front seat and move it to where you need it. So if you are being chauffeur driven, you could actually push it all the way up front, straighten up the backrest, and now if I move to this side, you can see that I would be more than comfortable. I could actually stretch out and be ferried around. Now that's something that I think is very cool, and if I had someone driving me around all the time in the city, this is exactly what I would be doing. Now, one of the cool things that the Creta Electric does come with is a vehicle to load function. So what that does allow you to do is use the vehicle's battery to power up various features. Now, with the main charging port, you can actually select the BTL mode and use it to power up your camping site or run a coffee machine. But even inside the vehicle, you've got a power outlet right down here that you can use to charge heavy devices like laptops or tabs. So that's again something that is very practical and something pretty cool about what you do get on board with the Creta. Well, enough about passenger space, let's talk about luggage space. So you've got a pretty sizable boot back here. It can carry about 433 liters of luggage, and as you can see, I've gotten one large suitcase and two small suitcases in here with ease. So that's again something that is very practical. But if you do have a small knick-knack and you want to tuck it away, the Creta Electric does give you that space too, and that's all the way up front in the frunk. Well, this is not the engine bay, this is actually the bay for the frunk, and you lift up this plastic cladding and what you do get is about 22 liters of storage space over here. So a nice laptop bag fits in with ease. When it comes to the power options on board, what you do get is a choice of two battery packs. So there's the 51.4 kilowatt hour battery pack and the 42 kilowatt hour battery pack. So obviously this is going to give you your top variant and your lower variants as well. But talking about the 51.4 kilowatt hour battery pack version first, it delivers 171 PS of power and it has a range of 473 kilometers on a single charge. It can also do 0 to 100 in 7.9 seconds. Which probably makes it the fastest Creta on the road. Now coming to the 42 kilowatt hour battery pack, it delivers 135 PS of power and it has a range of 390 kilometers on a single charge. So if you're looking at a Creta Electric that's going to be primarily used in the city, you could actually opt for the 42 kilowatt hour battery pack and be very happy with it as well. But if you're looking for something that's going to double up as your primary vehicle, you want to go further out, you've got more distance to cover, then the larger battery pack version is what makes more sense. Well, I've already told you about the battery options that you do get on board, and what I'm driving is the top-end variant of the Creta Electric, which comes with the larger battery pack. So we're talking about 171 PS of power and of course that 473 kilometer driving range that you do get. Now I've taken it up and down East Coast Road out here in Tamil Nadu. That's running from Mavalipuram. We went all the way down to a place that's quite close to Pondicherry, and the road has given me the opportunity to experience this vehicle on multiple types of terrain. So we're talking about the fact that We've got nice dual carriageways, we've got single lane roads, some dirt tracks, and a lot of that as well. And when it comes to the drive and the ride quality that the Creta Electric offers, it is actually pretty outstanding. Now you got to understand that with the battery pack on board, it is a pretty heavy vehicle. The complete center of gravity has sort of changed and given you, it feels more planted, and you can definitely push it a lot harder than the ICE versions of the Creta when it comes to taking corners. So that's just one of those elements that you do realize about the Creta Electric. Secondly, it does give you that zippy performance. I mean, it does 0 to 100 in 7.9 seconds, and that is actually quite a blast, making it also pretty much the fastest Creta on roads. And you can really have a lot of fun pushing it around and getting it up to 3-digit speeds with ease. The steering feels nice. It's not something that I'm going to complain about. And overall ride and handling quality is actually pretty dynamic. So it does feel more sporty. It feels like the most sporty version of the Creta in the Creta family. And I think that that's again something that's going in its favor. As far as coming to soaking up road undulations and bumps, I think it does a fine job of that. The suspension has obviously been tweaked to ensure that, even with the change in layout and the weight of the vehicle, we're talking about it still having a very nice plush ride quality, something that the Creta has been known for, and something that a lot of Creta customers have always commented about, is that they are very happy with the way that the Creta drives and rides. So that doesn't change over here. Hyundai has done a really exceptional job in ensuring you get a very comfortable vehicle to travel in or drive. So that's what I have to say when it comes to the ride and handling, as well as the overall drive feel of the Creta Electric. With this electric powertrain on board, what we are talking about is just a delight of a vehicle to drive, and it does put a smile on your face. Now, when it comes to safety, Hyundai has obviously played their cards just right. I mean, they've been doing it for years now, and they've been very committed to the cause of building out safer vehicles. And the Creta Electric is no different on that front. I mean, when we're talking about standard safety features, you've got 6 airbags as standard, you've got hill hold descent, you've got ABS, EBD, all of that. But you also get 19 ADAS level 2 features on board as well. So that's your crash mitigation, your lane departure, your lane keep assist. All of that is part of the package over here. You've also got adaptive cruise control, and the fact that if you do let go of your hands, which I don't recommend at all, and in the video you'll see I've kept my hands very close to the steering just to demonstrate the fact that the cameras and the radars are all working at the entire time, and it will take a corner even without steering input. So that's just something that is outstanding about it. Hyundai has given you that additional layer with ADAS. And of course, they've obviously built a very strong and rigid body structure as well to ensure that the Creta conforms to the latest norms. Now, obviously, crash test results are not out for the Creta Electric, but I have a feeling that it's going to do a pretty good job when it comes to scoring on the NCAP test, whether it's the Bharat NCAP or the Global NCAP. And with that, we come to the end of all the details about the Creta Electric. But now to answer that all-important question, does it belong in your garage? Well, for me, it's a very big yes. And not just because I'm a media guy and I'm just out here driving it and having a great time, but I do own a 2020 Creta. It's a Creta diesel, and I've had it now for almost 5 years. And it's a vehicle that we've been using a lot. We've taken it on long drives. It's very frugal, and it does quite a bit of running around for us. But having said that, and living in a place like Kodaikanal, where it's a small hill station and our daily drive is usually about 5 to 7 kilometers a day, a vehicle like this, like upgrading to the Creta Electric, just makes so much more sense for us. Yes, for those few out-of-town runs, I can do Madurai very easily with the Creta Electric. I can go all the way to Dindigul and back with the Creta Electric. So it takes care of that for me as well. Now, why am I giving my example? Well, You just need to gauge how much running around you have to do. Is it something that is primarily in the city and a couple of runs along a highway, maybe 200, 300 kilometers away from home? Or are you one of those guys who's always out on the road? Now, if you are one of those people who need it for just the city use, then the electric just makes so much more sense. It's frugal, it's fun to drive, it ticks all the right boxes in that sense, and you do get a brilliant vehicle that's also got this nice sporty edge to it. But if you're one of those that need a vehicle that really can do long distances for you, time is very important to you. Yes, there is the charging network. Yes, you can stop and charge, but it is still something that will take a little bit of time. I mean, even on a fast charger, you still do need to take that 45-minute break every so often. You could argue that you're going to do it anyways, in which case, go right ahead and get the Creta Electric. But just looking at the way that infrastructure is growing and spreading across the country, you could still manage with the Creta Electric, but it's still not there just yet. So that would be my only take on not buying a Creta Electric, is if you have a lot of long distance running around to do. For everything else, which is I think 99% of what driving is nowadays for all of us living in cities or small towns, the Creta Electric actually with its range is pretty brilliant, and you could easily make it your primary vehicle. Yeah, the question about which battery pack to go for, now that comes down to your budget and just how much running around you have to do. You know, we're talking about having 390 kilometers per charge versus 473 kilometers per charge according to the brochure. So it is, you know, it's something that you have to consider when you're making that purchase against the cost as well as your weekly or monthly running around and what you can manage with. So take those into account, and as a product, I don't think you will have any grouses with it. It's something that ticks all the right boxes, looks good, it is a Creta at the end of the day, and it's now with a nice electric powertrain. In case there's something I have left out, in case there's a question that you still want to ask me, go right ahead, leave it in the comment section below. It's my promise and the MotorScribes promise that we answer every question that comes in on our channel.